Hey kids, welcome back. This is session 7 of the Martin County Historical Society COVID-19 tour. And we're now in the Hunt Room, named after Roscoe Hunt. He's the person who actually purchased the museum and purchased this building, which was the St. Paul's Catholic Church, and donated it to the Martin County Historical Society way back in 1956. Okay, the Hunt Room. Dr. Hunt was obviously a doctor, and what we have over here is an example of a dentist office from probably about 80 years ago. And there's a chair, spittoon, a drill, and I think you'll see that it looks quite a bit different than your current dentist office. And Jim's going to tell us a few things about that.
Sure. We had a great question from Brecken about why does this look so different? And the short answer is because technology has changed. You can see this bowl here. This was for you to spit in while you were at the dentist. Now that's been replaced by the suction tool. So of course you don't need the big bowl with the little fountain for you to spit in. If you look at over here at these different tools, you'll notice this is a hand-powered machine. Well, we've got electricity these days, we've got batteries, all sorts of different ways to power things, so we don't need the big hand power station. And of course, this is made of wood and leather. Now we've gone into things, different materials that are more sanitary. So that's why the chairs look different. And you can see here a couple old pictures. I think we're all very thankful that dental technology has come a long way because it makes those dental trips not quite so scary.
Okay, very good, John. Okay, as we get on this area here, you'll see a number of things relating to athletics. For the Fairmont Martins, bats, balls, and some gloves, the equipment they used, to a number of different other objects, including golf clubs, skates, horseshoes, quite a few different things. Again, the Martins were a very good semi-pro team back in the 50s and 60s. Here we have some presidential buttons and other types of buttons, and some money, examples of money that's no longer used today. Okay, now we'll go over to Donna, and she's going to tell us a little bit about some of these hats and some of the other displays in this aisle.
As I had said in the welcome room, that hats were a big deal at the time. A lot of these hats were worn, in particular by one lady. Her name was Annabelle Webb. She was a radio personality on KSUM. And she was famous for all the different types of hats she had. Here's a picture of Annabelle right here with one of her famous hats. So come on in sometime and take a look at these, and maybe we may even let you try one or two on. Over here, we have a showcase of some more hats, but down below we have hat pins that were very decorative that you would put into your hat. Some may even have buttons. Some even had plumes, like feather-like, that you would wear in your hats. Over here we have Banks of Martin County. Different advertisements from different banks all over. We've got bank bags, we have receipt books, playing cards, pens, that little round black object there, that's a coin purse that guys would have their coins in. And then nowadays you can go online and check your bank statements. You had books that you carried with you. And then checks from the banks. And then over here we had a cigar factory in town. A few items from that company. Here's a Betts Cigar Company box that was located here in Fairmont.
Over here too, Donna, there's a very well-known studio.
Gookeen Studio. Took a lot of pictures. As a matter of fact, the Annabelle Webb picture down there is taken by Gookeen Studio.
Very well-known photographer.
And over here, nowadays we use cell phones, but this is the telephones we used many years. Rotary, push dial. Some even have the buttons on the bottom of their telephone so you can't see them. These don't take pictures. These you would just call people. And some, they had what was called party lines, so you could listen in on other people's conversations, which you should not do today. These are dolls and animals that kids would play with. We even have a case that had clothing for your dolls, like a little closet for them. And a doll house made of metal. And if we could turn that dollhouse around, it showed all the rooms with all the furniture in them. And then when little girls had their own little buggies that they would have their dolls in, and they would push them down the sidewalk or wherever with their own little blankets and clothes. And then they'd even have their own cradles too, just like at home. Jim, what have we got over here?
Well, Donna, we've got a great collection of typewriters. Kids, a typewriter is what you used to use before a computer to write your homework assignments. You put the paper in here, and then you'd go ahead and type, and these would have ink on them, and they'd put the ink on the paper. Now we have copiers, so yeah, that's a nice change. Down in this cabinet here, we've got a number of different things from different celebrities. Such celebrities as Nita Borkart. She was a dancer with the Radio City Rockettes. Marlis Lee Reed Stanley. She was Miss Minnesota in 1955. That's quite an accomplishment. And then a number of other things belonging to different celebrities that have been here in Martin County. And Donna mentioned pictures. When you didn't have your cell phone to take 100 pictures in a minute, we had these types of cameras. They date back to the 1910s, some even before that, so these are almost 100 years old. Taking a picture was not that easy in those days. It took a lot of time. You had to be very skilled with a camera. As we moved on, we got to the Polaroid. That was a little easier. That would actually print the picture right as you took it. So that was sort of a nice advance in technology. And then if you come around here, another interesting piece. You've got some old clothing. What makes these unique is these are Beaver Pelt gloves, a little different than the ones you probably get at Walmart these days. And then this coat here, that's a bear fur. So early days they made coats out of animals, and fur trade was a big industry here in the early pioneer days. So yeah, a little bit different than the parkas you wear outside today. And then over here we've got some more doctor displays. All sorts of different tools, lamps, glasses, the different carrying cases. Did you know that about 100 years ago, doctors would come to your house instead of you going to the doctor? It was called a house call. So that was certainly different. And when you were born, this is the scale they would have weighed you on. So now we have digital scales and technology has really grown, but these are the tools that helped really build Martin County in the early going. So I think that wraps up section 7. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you in the next one.